questions later.
All right, here we go. Good evening and welcome to the July 8th meeting of the Florissant City Council. If you all can please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Madam Clerk, if you can please do the roll call.
Sir. Shildroth. Here. O'Donnell. Here. Pagano. Parson.
Present.
Siam. Harris. Manganelli. Egan. Caputa.
All right, thank you very much. We now have a quorum to proceed. The next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, additions to the meeting minutes of June 24th, 2024? Hearing none, Councilman Harris moves to approve the minutes, seconded by Councilman Caputa. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, the meeting minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda is hearing from citizens. This is a time to speak to the council on any issue not necessarily on the agenda for 3 minutes. This is not a question and answer period. If you would like to speak to a council member or the mayor, please stay until after the meeting is over. If you are here to speak on a public hearing, please wait and speak when the public hearing is announced. And I don't believe we have any yellow cards. All right. Let's move right along. The next item on the agenda is communications, of which there are no communications. The next item on the agenda is public hearings. We have public hearing number 2407025. Madam Clerk, if you can, please read the public hearing notice.
Yes, sir. In accordance with Section 405-135 of the Florissant Zoning Code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri, in the council chambers at 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, July 8, 2024, at 7 p.m. on the following proposition: to rezone the property located at 2855 North Highway 67 from B3 Extensive Business District to B5 Planned Commercial District to allow for a dental office. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard and with special needs to contact the city clerk at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7630 or email cityclerk@florissantmo.com.
Okay, is the petitioner present? No. Can you please step forward, sir? Announce your name and your city of residence.
Good evening, Clint Fraley with Hill Commercial Construction out of Denver, Colorado.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brady, if you can, tell us a little bit about the project.
Sure, so this is a 4,500 square foot wood framed building that is owned and operated by Dr. Alex Heatris and his wife that reside here in the Florissant, Ellisville area. They're actually building 2 different locations. Dr. Heatris is an oral surgeon. That's his location that'll be located here in Florissant. Is it Florissant? Florissant?
Florissant. You
I
said
apologize.
It right. Right. We correct you.
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. And then his wife is opening a pediatric dental office called Bloomies in Ellisville. We're the general contractor for both of those locations. As a general contractor, we predominantly build dental offices and oral surgery centers all over the country. It's our specialty. So I do want to apologize to the council. We're a little bit late in the game, and I think having this application, part of the original design for this building was for it to be a combination of brick masonry, the modular brick, which is the larger brick, and then architectural wall panels. That was the architectural design intent. That's actually what the building department approved for construction. In the process of going through the other approvals, it was noted that as part of the way that this property is zoned, that it would not allow for that combination of brick and metal. There are a couple reasons, and I do want to pull this up to show you. I haven't done a PowerPoint slide since college. So
last year?
Yeah, I wish. I wish. Let's see here. So there are 3 reasons why we're requesting this late in the game. We've actually started construction. The building is fully framed. We're working on roofing right now to get it dried in, and we're starting some of the interior MEPs, some of the electrical work and plumbing work. There's three main reasons why we're requesting this rezoning, so that we can do brick and the combination of architectural metal wall panels. One is lead time issues with brick. Right now, we're actually having trouble sourcing the brick that is specified on 60% of the building per the original design intent. The second is cost constraints. The difference in cost to the owner is significant. It's a six-figure delta between the cost of adding additional brick for the sections that are supposed to get the metal wall panels in lieu of the actual metal. And the third reason is it's really owner preference and design team preference. From an architectural standpoint, they feel like they would prefer to have the combination of brick and metal wall panels. So to show you kind of what the original intent was, you can see the darker gray color on the higher portion of the building. This building is really built kind of in almost three buildings in one. There's a center piece, which is the taller piece, and then two smaller sections kind of off to each side. The smaller sections are what are intended to have brick per the original design, and it's the taller section that is intended to have the metal wall panels, and that's what we're hoping to use metal on as well. That taller section, the intent was to use a charcoal gray, and then the brick, it was to use more of a yellow. I'll show you the color. This is the yellow sort of brick that is what's going to be put on the building. So this is what is planned to put on the building on the two smaller sections of the building.
That's yellow or gray? It looks gray.
It's called a steel gray. I don't know, I guess eyesight's different. To me, it's kind of a soft yellow, but do you guys all see gray? It's called gray, so.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right.
It's called gray. And then the wall panels, the metal wall panels, this is the best picture I could find of it actually being used, is that type of wall panel. It'll be a little bit of a softer color than the black. It's going to be more of a charcoal gray.
Okay. Is that all you have?
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, we have a few questions. I'll start with Councilman Siam.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a few questions. I know this was mainly about the materials, but I have a couple of other questions. Since it looks to me like the way the layout is, and also from seeing it from the street, that the main building is going to be largely hidden from view from North Highway 67. So I was going to ask if you were going to have like a reader board or a monument sign or something that's indicating that it's there. Is that part of the plan, or?
It's not actually at this time. I know that was discussed, and I think the reasoning behind not doing a monument sign right now is the majority of the surgeries that will go on in this practice are pre-scheduled, and they're referred in to the practice from other dentists.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's not like a
physicians.
walk-in type
It's
of place
not.
like Aspen Dental
Not
or
at all.
anything like
No,
that?
no,
Okay, that's
it's-
kind of what I was picturing, but that does make more
Yeah.
sense then in that case.
It's strictly oral surgery, and Dr. Hietcher specializes in maxillofacial trauma specifically. So a lot of his cases come in from the ER the day before where somebody has suffered trauma. So it's
Okay.
99% of the time it's all pre-scheduled.
Okay. And do you think there will be a lot of traffic in the parking lot circulating around or coming from the street or anything like that? I don't know if there was a traffic study that needed to be done or anything like that.
I can't answer the question on the traffic study, but as far as the parking lot goes, probably not. I mean, I think he's typically going to have 6 employees, including himself, that are there during the day, and he has
Okay.
4 treatment rooms. That he can only occupy one of those treatment rooms at a time, and then he'll have some clinical staff as well. So I don't think there's any indication or intent for the parking lot to be full ever.
Okay. Sure, I appreciate that. And one last question. When is the project expected to be completed?
We are pushing towards the end of the year, and we
Okay.
expect to hit that if we can get the brick.
Okay.
No, we should be fine. We're on track. We have underground utilities going in now. The building's up. So every indication right now is that we should be done by the end of the year.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. That's
Thank
all I
you.
have.
All right, thank you, Councilman Siam. Let's go on to Councilman Caputa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excluding the metal panels that you're proposing, are the ones that you have the brick on it, is that a individual mortared on brick? You said it's clipped on, or is it one panel, like an 8x8 panel sheeting like the steel?
Good question. So it's modular brick. So each brick is in and of itself, one single brick that's typically 3.5 inches by 8 inches long by 2.5 inches tall. So it's not the stone veneer that's kind of the lick and stick. It's a full brick masonry brick system.
So what's it secured? How's it secured?
So there are brick ties that are actually secured to the building, and as they lay the brick, they're laying it in mortar, and every row will get brick ties that are structurally tied into the sheathing and the studs behind the sheathing, and that is actually what fastens it to the building.
So this is an actual brick set one piece at a time?
Yes, sir.
By bricklayers to
Yes,
set it
sir.
in instead of just mortaring it to the,
Correct.
to the wall?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
regardless of whether we go B3, B5, all brick, combination brick, metal, the brick that we install in the building will be the modular full brick.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Mr. Caputa. Let's go on to Councilman Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks for coming out, Mr. Hill. I got some questions. One, the steel that's in we got a picture in our packet of some part of the construction. You can see the steel on the left side. What I'm seeing here in the picture is on both sides. Does that steel lead, is that just awnings, or does that help the structure, make the building more structurally sound or whatever, lack of a better term?
Sure.
So does it tie into the building to help it be more secure?
So it does tie into the building. It's not a structural component of the building. The
Okay.
building was designed with shear walls throughout the building that are kind of isolated to the foundation for the building. The steel that you see is more architectural than anything.
Okay.
So it's an architectural component that also underneath that steel will get a architectural metal soffit as well to match the exterior of the metal panels.
Okay. And then the wall panels too. I mean, it was before I was on council, and it was in St. Louis County where a Family Dollar or something like that, they put up an all metal building. I know this isn't all metal, but I kind of worry about the aesthetics of that, kind of being a cheaper appearance than, say, an all brick type building, or, something that's more substantially brick and different building materials. It's hard to tell by the drawings exactly how this is going to look when it's done.
Sure, no, and I understand that, and certainly from a cost standpoint, it is significantly, I hate to use the word cheaper, but it is less expensive to use the metal wall panels. I think from a structural standpoint and an integrity standpoint, I'm not going to say they're just as strong as brick, because brick is hard to beat. If somebody runs into the brick, it's still going to damage it, but running into metal will damage it more. I think what protects this building is the section of the building that's going to get the metal. Again, it's in the center of the building. The two portions on the outside, we actually have a drive lane driving around one side. Mm-hmm. If anybody's going to hit a part of the building, it's going to be where the brick is. Most of the metal, as you can see, besides on this elevation of the building, is really above where the brick is, right? Because if you look, that section of wall panel above that portion that gets brick, that wall panel is actually sitting on the roof of that other portion of the building.
So the red arrows, is that going to the metal panels or is that going to the brick?
That's going to both. So on the right, it's showing, this was the original drawing that was shown what we were proposing to exchange for the metal wall panels into the brick. But the two red arrows that there on the right are showing the metal wall panels.
Okay. Alrighty. And is there any kind of life expectancy for this building?
Life expectancy for the building, I can't answer that. The metal is 40 years, and the brick is probably longer.
Right. Okay. Okay. So the warranty on the materials is 40 years?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Councilman Manganelli. He just asked a question that I had in regards to the life expectancy of the metal, and that's 40 years. So is that something that's warranted by the manufacturer, or how does that work?
That's a manufacturer's warranty, and then the subcontractor who's installing it is a local subcontractor called Expert Metal Fabrication. They offer a 2-year warranty on their labor. And the nice thing about the metal too is that if they ever decide they want to change it out, there's a product out there called Nichiha that's becoming really popular. Part of the popularity, I don't know if you guys like it or not, but we put it on a lot of hotels. It's easy to come off and exchange or change out whenever they want to change the facade. The metal wall panels are the same way.
Okay. And you pointed out that the metal is going to be towards the top of the building. Is that all the way around the building or only on the front portion?
It is. You can see on the back side here, that center portion, so that's on the rear of the building. That portion has full metal all the way down. The other 3 sides, it's 80% of it is from the roof of the smaller portion of the building up. So it does not come all the way down.
Okay. And I guess my next question, I don't know if you can answer or not, but you said it's 4,200 square feet, right?
4,500, yes, sir.
4,500. So, I know they're doing oral surgery. Is Dr. Idris the only oral surgeon, or does he have multiple?
He's the
surgeons?
only one, yes, sir.
He's the only one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then 4 treatment rooms, and I think that's all the questions that I have. Seeing no further comments, Councilman Siam moves to close this public hearing, seconded by Councilman Egan. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Thank you so much, Mr. Brady.
You're
You want me to leave this
You're
up
good.
here?
You can take it.
Take it, okay.
All right, next we have public hearing number 2407026. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the public hearing notice.
Yes, sir. In accordance with Section 210-1910 of the Florissant zoning code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri, in the council chambers at 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, July 8, 2024, at 7 p.m. on the following proposition: to amend Section 210-1910, sale of marijuana, marijuana-infused products, marijuana accessories, to change the proximity to certain institutions and operating hours. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact the city clerk at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7630 or email cityclerk@florissantmo.com.
Okay, is the petitioner present? I see her sitting in the second row. If you can, please come forward and state your name.
Trying to hide.
Right.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Mayor, members of the Commission, City Attorney. Section 210-1910. First, my name is Debbie Irvin. I am the Building Commissioner. I bring this forth so that the city will not be in a position to overplan for the incoming micro dispensers that are being released at the state level. So we're changing our 300 feet to 1,000 feet that will possibly impact schools, churches, and/or daycares. One of the other thing I found is that there are no operating hours listed in our code. We've been using St. Louis County codes for the one letter that I sent out for zoning. So the codes, or the hours that we're using right now that we're asking for approval on is from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., and the other part was civil penalties. It's already established in chapter or section 100.080. The Planning Commission did go over the Missouri statute regarding local control, and in that statute, it does give local control the power to do the changes that we're asking for tonight.
All right, we do have some questions. Let's start with Councilman Egan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening. Always good to see you.
You as well, sir.
The council, when we had executive session, I believe we had discussed about this limiting the number of dispensaries in the city of Florissant.
Right.
Did you guys take a look at that at all?
We had had that discussion with the city attorney prior that it would not be a good idea to consider limiting those businesses. In part of the local control, it said that we could limit or could stop that, but it says that we'd have to take it to a vote of the people. I'll read a little bit for you. It said, except as provided in this subsection, a local government may prohibit the operation of all micro-business dispensaries facilities or comprehensive marijuana dispensary facilities regulated under this section from being located within a jurisdiction, and it goes on and on, but it goes to a ballot. So if we wanted to set limitations, we put it out to a ballot.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm still not necessarily against putting it to a ballot to limit. We get complaints all the time about the number of certain businesses we have in the community, whether it be a particular type of food being sold or a car wash or what have you. And I would hope that the administration would look at maybe as we go down the road limiting the number of we limited the number of liquor stores in town. And so I think it would be good for the city to take a look at that, but I appreciate the work you guys did. Thank you very much.
Well, sir, we did under the executive session, we talked about a moratorium. We have not revisited that yet because we're still trying to figure out what will constitute that moratorium for us to set those limits and to say what type of businesses or how many of that certain type of businesses should come to the city. So we have not gotten into that depth of the research yet.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman Egan. Councilman Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome. Excuse me. So we also, I thought we were talking about, limiting the distance. They couldn't be within so many, whatever that measurement is between dispensaries.
So
I was reading through this again, and I didn't really see anything to that effect.
So on the local control here, it says that unless allowed by the local government, no new marijuana facility shall be initially sited within 1,000 feet of any then existing, elementary school, daycare, or churches.
Right.
And I don't think that we have the authority to extend beyond what the state has already given us the power to do. So 1,000 feet was going to be as best we could get at this point.
Okay. Well, I understand with the schools and everything, but as far as between dispensaries, can we limit the distance?
I don't think so. I think I'll defer that to the city attorney to see if we can't limit from dispensary to dispensary.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Ms. Grace, do you have anything to add since she referred to you?
Yes. So the Amendment 3, which was the amendment to the Missouri Constitution, had certain limitations and certain things that were allowed. One of them is up to 1,000 feet. It also says that other time, place, manner restrictions are allowed for local control. It's just those have not necessarily been tested yet, and what is going to be reasonable and what is not reasonable. So is it possible that we could include some additional restrictions, some density type restrictions that you've talked about? It is possible. We could do something like we've done for the liquor and tobacco and test it and see. That would be a reasonable place to start, probably, similar to those other ordinances. But I guess, I don't know off the top of my head if those are distances between or if those are also distances from schools, churches, et cetera.
So as things stand right now, if we felt there was one dispensary that was being proposed that was too close to another one, could we just reject it as things stand right now, or we could not do that?
Right now, you don't have a time, place, manner restriction on that you would be able to fall back on.
Okay. Understood.
But they're only allowed in certain districts, so you're already limiting it to, it's not like it could be anywhere in town.
Okay.
But we could
Gotcha.
look at those additional restrictions if you'd like to consider those.
Okay. All right, we have some more questions. Councilman Caputa.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We have one dispensary in the city limits, correct?
That's correct.
Do you know by any chance their operations, hours of operations?
I don't know that, sir.
Okay, because I was wondering if they open earlier, later. I mean, would this be a 7-day-a-week time frame?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Caputa. Doesn't look like we have any further questions. Seeing no further comments, Councilman Parson moves to close this public hearing, seconded by Councilman Manganelli. All those in favor? All those opposed? All right, that motion carried.
Mr.
Public
Mayor,
hearing is
I'm sorry,
closed.
Mr. Mayor, with your permission, is it okay to leave?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Have a good
Thank
night.
you so much. All right. Next item on the agenda is old business. First item is bills for second reading. We have bill number 9991. Councilwoman Pagano moves for a second reading, seconded by Councilman O'Donnell. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Madam Clerk, if you can, please read the bill.
Ordinance to authorize a special use permit for Kenneth Daniels, Kenny D's, to allow for a carryout restaurant in B1 Local Shopping District for the property located at 1939 Washington.
All right, Councilwoman Pagano moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilman Childrath. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance to authorize a special use permit for Kenneth Daniels, Kenny D's, to allow for the carryout restaurant in B1 Local Shopping District for the property located at 1939 Washington.
Okay, before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? All right, hearing none, Clerk, can you please poll the council?
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Parson.
Yes.
Siam. Harris. Manganelli. Egan. Caputa.
All right, bill number 9991 passes and becomes ordinance number 8994. Congratulations. All right, next we have bill number 9992. Councilman Parson moves for a second reading. That's seconded by Councilman Egan. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Madam Clerk, if you can read the bill.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to enter into an agreement with Johnny Landau Chevrolet Incorporated for the lease of the city-owned parking spaces located at 4575 Washington.
Councilman Parson moves for a third reading, seconded by Councilman Harris. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Madam Clerk, if you can read for a third time.
Ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to enter into an agreement with Johnny Landau Chevrolet Incorporated for the lease of city-owned parking spaces located at 4575 Washington.
All right, before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this bill? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, if you can, please poll the council.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Parson.
Yes.
Siam. Yes. Harris. Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
All right, bill number 9992 passes and becomes ordinance number 8995. Next item on the agenda is new business. First item under new business is board appointments. Anybody from the council? All right, let's go on to the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to appoint Amy Maggi from Ward 5 to the Arts Commission.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, the appointment is made.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right, next we have on the agenda is requests. Councilman Harris moves to approve a request for a beer and wine by the drink license for So Deity Diner, LL.
Hold on a second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Manganelli.
We did have a question.
Hit his, light on.
I'm sorry about that. Councilman Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to suspend the rules and bring the petitioner up so she can explain her request.
All right, we have a motion to suspend the rules by Councilman Manganelli, seconded by Councilman Egan. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, so if the petitioner can please step forward. Can you please state your name?
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Revelyn Moore.
All right, and we have some questions from Mr. Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hello, Mrs. Moore.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I just wanted to, so everybody understood your reasoning for the license, or the liquor license and everything. So, but you're looking for just a beer and wine license. If you could explain why you're seeking that, please?
Well, one of the reasons, because of my competitors, definitely was something that I was trying to stay away from. I really didn't want to tap into the bar and wine, because I want my establishment to be more of a family style, where children are welcome, but I lose a lot of business because I don't do mimosas. Most people want to do lunch, they want mimosas. And so I think it'll definitely increase my revenue, and I'll be able to sustain a little bit longer with just doing the beer and wine.
Well, hopefully you can sustain very long.
Yeah.
So are you looking at extending your hours?
No, no,
Okay.
no, no.
And any other changes in the operation then?
Not at this time. No, that's the only thing. I definitely know it will help a lot. I get a lot of cancellations just because I don't do mimosas. So, yeah, my competitors, the ones that's around me, they do, mimosas. So they have the soft wine and the soft beers and stuff like that. So I definitely know that would help a lot.
Well, it'll be a great addition to the bacon and everything you have there too. It is some of the best bacon, and definitely Ward 2. I don't want to upset any of the other
My
diners around
pancakes
town,
too.
but
The pancakes. Don't forget about the
well,
pancakes.
the pancakes are very good too. I don't eat eggs, so I can't talk about that, but it's very good. And I don't eat eggs, only if they're mixed in a cake. But anyway.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Some people are disruptive. But thank you very much for coming up, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Manganelli. Councilman Egan.
I'll pass, thank you very much. Paul asked my questions. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing no further questions, Councilman Manganelli moves to approve a request for beer and wine by the drink license for So Deity Diner, LLC, located at 35 Florissant Oaks Shopping Center. That's seconded by Councilman Caputa. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Shildroth. Yes. O'Donnell. Yes. Pagano. Yes. Parson.
Yes.
Siam. Yes. Harris. Yes. Manganelli. Yes. Egan. Yes. Caputa.
All right, that motion is carried, and the liquor license is approved. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Plus eggs, too.
Moving right along. The next item on the agenda is bills for first reading. We have bill number 9993. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the bill.
Sir. Ordinance to rezone the property located at 2855 North Highway 67 from B3 Extensive Business District to B5 Planned Commercial District to allow for a dental office.
We have bill number 9994. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the bill.
Ordinance to authorize an amendment to Section 210-1910, sale of marijuana, marijuana-infused products, marijuana accessories to change the proximity to certain institutions and operating hours.
We have bill number 9995. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the bill.
Ordinance authorizing an amendment to Article 7 Park Facilities by deleting it in its entirety and replacing it with a new section.
All right. Next item on the agenda is council announcements. We have anyone with an announcement? Here we go. Councilman Shildroth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to offer my condolences to the Farrar family on the recent passing of Norma Jean Farrar. Ms. Farrar was very active in historic Florissant and Florissant Historical Society, and she was also one of the founders of the museum at Sacred Heart Church. I spent some time with Ms. Farrar and her late husband at their home on the campaign trail, and she was always very friendly and really nice to talk with her and listen to stories about historic Florissant and about her city that she loved. She lived on Washington and just inside Ward 5, and her home is beautiful. is a historic home, and she always had it decorated really nice for Christmas. And it has an adjoining barn/garage that she also decorated. I'd also like to thank the folks in the Walk of Fame. They put a new plaque on the Walk of Fame last week for John Gribb, former councilman and planning and zoning member, and it was very well attended and very deserving, and I was glad I could attend that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Shuldroff. Councilman Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to let everybody know that the Italian Festival and Bocce Tournament is less than 3 months away. It'll be on September 28th. Please look around town for flyers and Facebook for all the details and how to get involved. The food was great last year, and it's going to be even better this year.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Manganelli. And now we have a message from our mayor.
Thank you.
It would be nice if I turned your mic on. Okay.
You don't want to hear me either. This morning at 9:15, we had a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new pool at Bangor Park. Very well attended. The Florissant Fish team was there, their coaches, and many of our residents. And I think if you get the opportunity to go out there and see our new pool, I think you'll be very happy with it. So now both of our aquatic centers are completed. And I certainly wanted just to thank everybody, including the committee here, the council that worked on that, and certainly the residents of the city of Florissant who knew that that was an important amenity to the city to approve that bond issue to build these two pools. And I think that everybody's going to love them. And I think it just goes that another great amenity for the families of the city of Florissant. This past weekend, we started our Music Under the Stars summer concert series, and those will go for the next 7 weeks at St. Ferdinand Park, beginning at 6 o'clock and ending at 9 o'clock. And our next Wednesday night out is set for July 31st at 6 p.m. in front of Bunker's Tavern. Prior to that, at 5:30, we'll have a plaque dedication for Jack Weiniger. That's all I have today, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. The next regular meeting for the City Council will be on Monday, July the 22nd at 7 p.m. Councilwoman Pagano moves to adjourn the regular meeting, seconded by Councilman Caputa. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The meeting is adjourned.